This is William Patterson University Television.
Welcome to an all-new episode of The Charts, where we highlight the talent inside the music department here at William Patterson. I'm Matt Camera.
And I'm Anne-Marie Huber, and today we will be interviewing pop artist Ellajolie and indie pop artist Adri Maiella.
All right, welcome to the show, ladies. How's it going? How you doing tonight?
Good.
Good. We're very happy to have you here.
Yeah, it's great to see you guys. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. So let's dive into it. So Ellajolie, how would you describe your sound, or what kind of artist would you consider yourself?
I consider myself pop, or soft pop is normally the term I go with, because I do acoustic, mainly pop, but with indie influences.
Okay. Have you ever thought of venturing off into other areas of genres?
Yeah, I've always wanted to do like a straight up like pop song, but I've never done something that's not acoustic.
Okay. And how about you, Adri?
I would consider my music pretty indie folk, singer-songwriter type stuff.
And did you ever think about wanting to do a different style?
Yeah, that's honestly like something I like struggle with, like picking somewhere to stay, and it's just so fun to like try different stuff with like what we come up with, even if it's not like a genre that we are used to. I like to jump all over the place.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I definitely pick up on that indie vibe. I mean, very angsty, very emotional, very like heavy kind of sound to your music. I mean, even if the instrumental and the melody that you had in your song is kind of that upbeat sound, it's that combination of the melody with the vocals that creates that kind of deep vibe. And on your YouTube video that we watched, I mean, the caption, so I don't know if this is too personal for you, but in the caption it said this is a song about faking your own death. And I was, from the moment I read that, I'm like, wow, like, are we dealing with a convict here? Like, are we dealing with somebody who's, broadcasting abroad right now from Guatemala or some crazy place? Like, I don't know. Is that something you did or are thinking about doing?
Well, yeah, no, I'm not in Guatemala right now, but that would be nice. I think it's like, especially right now with everything going on, literally maybe like everything that could have possibly gone wrong this year went wrong. So like during these times, I feel it's important to express myself as much as possible. So like being able to escape times like these and go, live on a private island and no one bother me is definitely something that I've fantasized about quite a bit. So yeah, that's something I'm transparent with in a lot of the music that I write, just like wanting to escape and just be on my own and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I can definitely relate too. Sometimes the fantasy world is a lot better. But so what made you want to write this song?
So this song is about I pull some parallels from some friendships and relationships that I've had in the past, and I connected them with my favorite book, The Giver, which is basically about this boy who lives in this dystopian, like post-apocalypse universe, which honestly doesn't feel too far away from what's going on right now. And he basically is just chosen to, receive all of the memories of the past world, which had, color and like different emotions and a bunch of other pretty radical things that were banished from this world that he lives in because they wanted to maintain the peace. which is also something that, you could connect to with our real world. So I basically wrote about how my life can sometimes feel like I'm like being held back from, going and exploring things that might not be like acceptable. Like I feel like a lot of people struggle with stuff like that, like trying to fit into this cookie cutter person that society, wants everyone to be. But it's not always like that. And so I basically wrote about how my friendship with this person feels restricting in the same way that the main character of The Giver's life is constantly being like monitored, and he also lives under quite a few restrictions.
Wow, you just sold that book to me.
Oh, for real? I mean, I already knew about that book, and I remember having to read it in middle school and just, middle schoolers and having to read things. I remember not liking it. But I mean, it's really, you're just talking about it right now. It's really on theme with, our world, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. And I mean, you're wanting to escape. That's pretty no, it's pretty heavy for right now and pretty on topic. And I feel like both of your songs kind of had that similar theme. Like Ella, your song Valley. Now the valley, is that somewhere that you're trying to escape from? I mean, what does the valley really mean to you?
Well, the Valley is a place in Spokane, Washington. It's Spokane Valley. I actually got the idea to use like the Valley from there's a Taylor Swift song called The Lakes, and then there was a Jody Mitchell song I was thinking about called Waves of the Canyon. So I was like, what if I used like, this place? And then I was like, wait, I lived in a valley. So basically, it was where I lived from ages 9 to 14. And so it was like, the biggest part of growing up was there. And I always wanted to leave, when you're that age, you don't want to be wherever you are. You want to go out and you want to see the world. And so it was just about like feeling like trapped in this valley because you've got the mountains around you on all sides and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Wow, so very literally just being trapped in a valley, surrounded by mountains.
Yep.
And yeah, no, you're right. That's a very important part of the life. So that's interesting that you're pulling from these deep emotional points in your life. Yeah, and I feel like that's something that all artists should do or do in their songs. So that's very interesting. That's an aspect of your music. But we're actually gonna take a look at a clip of your song Valley right now. So here it is.
Daisy poking out of the grass meets West Coast sunlight of smoke and ash. No lakes or oceans, nothing at all, nothing to surround me but the beige of my wall. The only thing to remind me that nature exists was a sprinkle of snow on the mountain in spring. I knew there was more, but it was hard to believe it when the closest exit was simply ceasing to exist. I don't go back to the valley, don't see old friends or memories. Down downtown therapy. You will never leave the city. From New York to Philly to Miami, you're always alone when you grow up in the valley. Packed my boxes, donated my old clothes. No house key in my hand, I could go wherever I wanted to go. New license in a new state, sent my ballot to a new place. Till I'm working retail for a living, I will never leave this town of 2000. I don't go back to the valley or see red dirt and canyons cracking under my pink cowgirl boots. Southern accent when I'd say bathing suit. You're always alone when you grow up in the valley. Obsessed with my bones, hold my wrist and they might snap. No matter where I go, I can still taste the ash. And I thought this was my year, but it wasn't it. And you're never you again when you live in the valley.
So Ella, one of the lyrics that stood out to me, and you repeated it a few times in the song, is "You're always alone when you grow up in the valley, and you're never you again when you live in the valley." So my question to you is, what exactly, like, how would you describe the impact on your life, like, that the valley has had on you?
Well, I think it has changed the way I've looked at things because since I lived there, I've lived a bunch of different places. That was the second place I'd ever lived. But now I've been a couple places since then. And I think when you're living somewhere and like you're trapped in that, it makes you want to be free, I guess. So I'm like a very free kind of person. Like I don't stay anywhere too long. I move around from place to place. I get bored of places really fast because I'm just like used to moving around. So I think, I mean, not to like psychoanalyze myself, but I think like having that feeling of being like trapped there for so long, I'm always like, okay, gotta keep going, move around. So yeah, it was just a point in my life. I think when you're in middle school and you're growing up like that, everything is difficult. Like, everything seems terrible no matter like what's going on. So it was just like not just a physical place, but also like a state of mind where, there's the mountains and I couldn't move past that. I saw my world and I was like, this is how it is. Because, I was 13. You're like that at 13. So it was just like trapping myself in, I guess.
Mm. Yeah, when you're in middle school, everything is difficult, like having to read The Giver, right? Like, calling back to you, Adri. So, I mean, your song. So what were your feelings when releasing this song? I mean, was it hard for you? Was it a breeze? What were your what went through your head?
Well, songs like The Giver and songs that I've written in the past, I've usually just kept in like the vault for a really long time. So it's almost second nature to share them with people when I feel that they're fully done because I've had them with me for so long. So almost in a way I feel desensitized to, as you said, how heavy the lyrics can get. So sometimes people will point things out in my writing and I'll be like, oh yeah, that is pretty devastating. Like, I don't, I don't know. But yeah, I think putting stuff out on YouTube, which is what I recently started doing, and just sharing music with my close friends is always a super like relieving experience, because I just like to have as much like feedback as possible so that I can eventually like go and record these songs in like like either a studio or just like at home, just something outside of like YouTube where I can like put it on a platform or something. So yeah, I like to just share it with as many people as possible.
Cool. So you thrive on that feedback then. So that's what you're going for. Cool. Good for you.
So Adri, a lyric from your song that Matt and we liked, it was, if you're a real friend, you won't tell the cops. So my question to you is, hypothetically, if you were to fake your own death, would you tell your friends, and would you expect them to not tell the cops?
Well, yeah, I have my two best friends, John and Xander, who we always joke about how if we were to either collectively fake our deaths like at the same time, it would be easier than us doing it one at a time in separate occasions, because one of us would just crack and tell someone for like money or something, or like we would not be able to keep a lie up for that long. So we just always joke about how like if I did decide to go live in Guatemala, that no one was allowed to say anything.
No, I love it. That's what you call real friends right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So now we're gonna take a look at your song, The Giver.
Hey guys, this is a song I wrote called The Giver. I'm leaving everyone voicemail saying I'm gonna go missing and not to freak out when they turn on the news. If you're a real friend, you won't tell the cops that you saw me at the corner shop or walking in circles in the parking lot. I'm kidding, I'm not going anywhere. Consider this a cross between a prank call and a social experiment. You didn't want to sleep with your back to the door, and you never really know what you're sorry for. And I know you'd rather be elsewhere when you're with me. I know you'd rather be somewhere else. I'm taking the day off to wait for the water tower to collapse. It's tilting to the left. I spent way too much time on Facebook yesterday. I wouldn't pay for anything with the feeling you gave me. You didn't want to sleep with your back to the door, and you never really know what you're sorry for. And I know you'd rather be elsewhere when you're with me. I know you'd rather be somewhere else. Try your best, don't blame the giver. Don't blame the giver. be somewhere else. I know you'd rather be somewhere else.
So another line that you said, so you said that you kind of thrive and you build off of, you know, the feedback that you get or off of people viewing you. So this line that you put said, consider this a cross between a prank call and a social experiment. So are you looking to kind of disrupt the public? Do you want that negative feedback? Is that what you're looking for? Or
I mean, I enjoyed disrupting the public from time to time.
All right.
I mean, who doesn't, honestly? But you know, I almost wrote that line in a sense where like I was seeing like, oh, if I call up all my friends and tell them that I'm gonna just like flee town, like I would be doing it partially to just get a reaction out of them in like a social experiment type of way, where it'd just be like, do you care enough to tell me not to go, or is this something I can get away with? So yeah, it was just another like play on words almost, like just to see how people would react. But I do have my fair share of disrupting the public.
Disrupting the public. We love that.
You know how the saying goes, rules are meant to be broken. So
Exactly.
continue. So Ellajolie, so in your song you say, I thought this was my year, but it wasn't. And I know all of us can relate to that this year more than ever. But I know you also said you lived in Washington middle school, right? 9 through 13. So what year exactly were you referring to, and why did you think it was your year, and why wasn't it?
Okay, so I wrote this song recently, so that was referring to this year.
Okay.
I think I had such a good feeling about 2020. I was like, I was born in 2002. It's 2020. This is like, I don't know, something about it seems perfect.
Yeah, the numbers were assigned.
Clearly, I was wrong. And I was like, Halloween is going to be a full moon. It's on a Saturday too. All the holidays line up. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm starting school. This year is going to be amazing. I was wrong. I was very, very wrong.
None
So,
of that.
I mean, I think that I always think every year is going to be like the great year. Everyone does that. You know, you got your New Year's resolutions and you're like, yeah, I'm going to get it this year. This year was particularly bad though.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We're all in the same club here, girlfriend. So I actually wanted to ask you another question, because I know you moved around a lot, and I know the Valley, you know, it's written on a place where you lived. Have you ever thought about writing more songs on other areas that you've lived at?
Yeah, so, well, for example, in the song, I do have the second chorus is referencing actually Oklahoma, where I was born. So I was talking about like the pink cowgirl boots and whatever. Those were a pair of boots that I very loved as a young Oklahoma kid. I have written songs in a Civil War town in Delaware right now. So like Fort Delaware is across the river. It's pretty cool. There's a whole lot of history over here. So I have written a song about that actually, because my house is 140 years old. So it's like, you know, you kind of have to write about that. Like there's ghosts, there could be ghosts. You know, it's just, we have original floors. Like the people that were here 100 years ago walked on the same floors that I walk today. So it's just like, I can't not write about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty trippy thought, actually. I mean, just how there was a whole world before us, and how, I don't know, time just keeps moving no matter how hard things get, you know. And that's actually kind of another thing that I wanted to ask you guys about, is during this time, you know, have your plans changed at all? I mean, how have you adapted to this pandemic? Have you been writing more? How have you changed musically based on what's going on? And I'll start with you, Adri.
Sure. I definitely have found I have more time to write and sit down and really reflect on things that I have written. I have a lot more time to practice, just music in general, like keep up with my technique on my instruments. I've been able to spend more time with my family, which is something I'm always thankful for. I think, as weird as it sounds, I am thankful in some ways for the time off from all the chaos of like pre-March life, if you can remember what that was, because I barely can.
Barely, yeah.
But yeah, I have enjoyed just some peace and time to, work on myself and my music. And yeah.
Nice. And what about you, Ella?
It's funny that you said that. Oh, don't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, Ella.
Yeah.
But I will get back to you,
Um,
Adri.
Well, I think for me, I don't have as much time now. Like in March, when we were all, out of school and everything was just closed, I had a lot more time to work on music. I put together like a whole EP because I was like, why not do that? I have the time. I haven't worked on anything in a while now because just because school is online doesn't mean that there's less of it, unfortunately. So, but before I did have a lot more time to like focus on music without the distractions of going out and doing things. So it was nice to just like I started getting into producing, which I'd never done before, and that was like a whole new world. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It seems like you gained a new skill, learning how to produce your own music. And it's great because, at the end of the day, you need to try to turn a negative into a positive. And I feel like you guys both did that. Now, Adri, you talking about how anything before March seemed like forever ago. Matt and I were just talking about that. Like January to me seems like it was 2 years ago. I can't even, yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it's like I like forgot how to, because now that things like especially over the summer when we were able to see small groups like outside, or like I would just see people like outside a little bit more often than I like March when it was just cold and everything was upsetting. But I'd see people and I'd be like I don't even know how to interact with other humans anymore. Like I just don't know what to do. But yeah, it is weird. It definitely feels like forever ago. Like I like I'm like I could picture us being in, like quarantine for like as long as it lasts at this point, because I feel like in March I was like, oh, when is this gonna end? When is this gonna end? But now I'm just like, this is, how we operate, which I guess is a good thing. I'm not like constantly like thinking about getting back to normal life just because we're all just used to this. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I had the same thoughts too. In March, I really thought, okay, maybe 1 month, 2 months max. But at this point, this is our new norm, you know? And I wanted to ask you guys, what are your future plans, moving forward with your artistry? I'll throw it to Ella.
Well, as of right now, I do plan to definitely get better at producing. Eventually, I will definitely take a class. Doesn't fit into my schedule right now, but I plan to eventually, because right now I'm kind of just figuring things out my own. But I definitely, I do want to make like a pop song one day, just something like totally like overly produced and really fun, because all my music is kind of serious most of the time. It's a little, low key sad. But I just want to expand. I've been learning a lot being a music major. I never realized how much I didn't know. So it's been a really great experience. And I'm just going to keep putting out music and hoping that at least a few people enjoy it, because it's special to me that even like one person is like, wow, I listen to this song every day. I love it. And like, that's all I need, really.
Awesome. And you, Adri?
Yeah, I like totally agree with Ellie in saying like just being able to put out like something and having someone be like, oh, that's cool is like so rewarding, and it makes you want to, keep making more music, which is what I hope to continue doing, just like day by day in times like these, just keep making music and keep writing and stuff, because I mean, everyone needs something to keep them distracted or somewhat distracted from all the stuff going on, and music is definitely my distraction, and it's like a great distraction, I think.
Yeah, you guys write about escape, and then we use what you write to escape as well.
Yeah. Well, you're both obviously very gifted, and you're taking advantage of your gifts to, keep yourselves sane. So that's great. That's great that it's kind of that crutch for you, or that kind of thing for you guys. So good on you for surviving the pandemic this long.
You too.
Yeah, we're all in this together. But
For sure.
yeah,
Do you-
thank you.
Do you have any, Matt? Are you gonna say
Sorry,
something or no?
I'm not. Hey, well, you started talking. I'm the.
I know,
You got the mic
sorry.
now. Go for it.
I know. I was gonna ask Ella and Adri if they have like any platforms that they want to shout out. We can follow them, either if it's YouTube, Instagram, SoundCloud.
Sure.
Mhm.
My Instagram is Adri Ella with 12 A's at the end. I'm so sorry. But, and my YouTube is just Adri Maiella.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
1 A, yeah, at the end of that.
And you, Ella, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me everywhere at Elle Ryerson. It's ELLERYERSON. That's Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, Twitter. I don't really use Twitter, Instagram, all of that. It's all under Elle Ryerson.
Great, awesome. Well, that's all the questions we have for you, and we thank you for coming onto the show and telling us about your music.
Yeah, it was so great getting to talk to you too. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, this was so fun.
Thank you.
And good luck on your artistry.
Yeah. Good luck on learning how to produce.
Thank you.
I look forward to your poppy song. Maybe I'll use it, to work out.
Thank you so much, Adri and Ella, for joining us, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Charts. Make sure you follow us on social media at The Charts WP to see behind the scenes footage.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with our performances and roundtables. We'll see you next time on The Charts.